You might want to clean the gutters or the yard this spring, but how about your mind? Rebecca Downing is a family counselor, and she's here to tell us the 10 ways we can clean our minds. Thank you for being here with us.
It's great to be back.
All right, you're saying that there's a change in weather and it's a perfect time to start fresh.
Absolutely. The spring equinox has just passed, which means we have more sunlight during the day. So all of us should be feeling more energy, less need for sleep, loss of appetite, which some people welcome this time of year after putting on the pounds in the wintertime. And we're all grateful to feel less depressed. So it's a great time for renewal and growth, which is why I say to folks, set new goals now. It's an even better time than January because we're having an increase in our endorphins because it's spring. So set new goals. They're easier to reach in the spring. And also commit to decreasing your negative thinking. That's another thing that people get really stuck in the winter time.
A really hard one, especially like you said in the winter, because that's when you're gaining weight and you're feeling depressed and it's dark.
Yes.
And so spring is a great way to start getting motivated for something else.
Stop taking things personally. This happens all year long. Everybody seems to want to take things personally, but you're actually thinking about yourself more than other people are.
All right, that one is a difficult one for myself personally, and I'm sure some viewers out there. Anytime anyone says something to me, I always take it to heart. Like, I don't think of it as constructive criticism, like, oh, I did that wrong, and I carry it with me.
So decreasing your should statements. Another thing is stop waiting for the motivation to change. Change begins with action, not motivation. A lot of people sit around and wait, well, maybe I'll feel like it tomorrow or I'll start it next week. You have to stop waiting for the motivation and actually just do it.
That's great advice, because and when you set new goals, it's kind of a list of should statements, but you need to put them into action.
Right. Clean out your mental filters. One of the things that people do often is we discount the positive. We want to focus on what didn't go right during the day, what's wrong. I say take 5 minutes out of your day at the end and think about what you've done that day that was positive.
That's great, because again, that's a really hard thing, because if you're going through the day and you haven't done everything that you wanted to, oftentimes all you think about at the end of the day is what you didn't do instead of what you did.
True.
And then you have one more tip for us, but well, you have more later in the show, but one more that we're going to talk about now.
Yes. Stop blaming and shaming yourself and others. We all need to learn, take control of what you can and let go of the rest. So much of worrying is about holding on to things that you can't take control of.
All right, and that is really difficult, but those are great tips. And you have 3 more that are coming up later in the show, some of the most important.
Some of the most important, so stick around.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And
we are back with Rebecca Downing. She is a counselor, and she's here to tell us more ways that we can clean out our mind. Thank you so much for sticking around. So earlier we went through the top 10, setting new goals, and don't wait for the motivation to do something. Be your own motivation. And now, if I'm correct, the next tip is connecting with people and all that good stuff.
Right. I saved the best 3 for last. Connecting with friends and family. We tend to hibernate here in New England in our homes all winter long. It's cold. People don't want to go out. It's time now to get out and be with other people.
I fully agree. I find myself going home and staying home because it's a warm place, and it makes me antisocial, but now you're right. Now that it's that time of year, everyone should get out and about.
It's warmer outside. People can be outside longer with your family for longer periods of time. Meditate. Now, I know that this is very popular and trendy at the moment.
I was going to say, but I think for a lot of people, though, it might be a tough sell, though.
Well, one of the things that I have done, and I'm telling a lot of my clients, is it is very, very easy now to get meditation CDs. You can go I've even seen them for sale in convenience stores.
I'm
You know, the
sure-
sounds of nature, they're usually in that rack.
And I'm sure if people do an internet search, they're going to come up with hundreds upon hundreds of locations too.
Absolutely. I have some of my favorite links on my website. You can also download them onto your phone if people have smartphones or Androids, and then you can do them anywhere. It's 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and these are guided meditations, so it's not like you just have to sit there and be quiet, which I think most people get really intimidated by. They're going to step you through the meditation. So practicing, helping you to learn to practice mindfulness during the day.
So could you argue then it's kind of a practiced relaxation? It's someone teaching you the steps to achieving some relaxation?
Unfortunately, we have to practice.
That's true.
We have to practice in this day and age to relax.
It's so, yeah, but it's nice to have people who are coaching you through it. You wish you didn't have to, though. But maybe by doing enough meditation, we can learn how to relax on our own without it.
Eventually, yes.
Now, your last tip, it might be your most important tip. It's exercising.
And I'm sure everybody gets tired of hearing exercise, exercise, exercise. But the reality is that even 10 minutes a day, especially in the sunlight, 10 minutes of sunlight a day, we usually have vitamin D deficiencies in the winter, so we're coming outside again, even if it's walking around the neighborhood.
Well, and you know what it is? Whether you go to a gym or whether you're walking out in the neighborhood, you interact with people too. At least, if nothing else, a head nod, you're getting out and about, which is the important part.
Absolutely. And remember that change begins with action, not motivation. So if you say, oh, I'll do it next week or maybe tomorrow, you've got to actually just take the steps.
That's absolutely true. You can have all the well wishes and all the motivation in the world, but unless you take that first step, you're not going anywhere.
Right.
Thank you so much. It's a
Sure.
pleasure to have you here.
Thanks, Seth.
I love these 10 tips. And for all of the tips, you can head to our website later today.